Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're back again for this Wednesday night, or as some people might call it, we're now on verdict watch for Megan Boswell. So that happened very quickly today. They pulled into court this morning. There was a legal challenge in regards to yesterday's testimony right at the end there, and then they must have had some sort of legal challenge. And again, the defense tried to get a mistrial. He's done that like 3 or 4 times. He is hyper annoying. I don't know what kind of defense they gave her, but it was awful. He spent half of the time in his closing argument making the weirdest comparisons, and you're just like, why are you saying this stuff? Like, how do you think this is going to help your client? It was the weirdest closing argument I've ever listened to. It was very strange. And anyway, we got other stories to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about apple cider vinegar. So that was not a documentary. It's a dramatization of a. It's two separate people, but the one I'm interested in is a woman called Belle Gibson. Now she is from, well, she's actually from Tasmania, but she was in Melbourne, Victoria at the time of her offending, and if you don't know about her, she was or still is, a woman who conned the world, saying that she had all these different types of very severe cancer and made this app, or yes, this app called The Whole Pantry, and tried to convince people that she was curing her cancer with like clean eating and, juices and things like that. And it came out later on that she had been telling lies. She had been, she had never had cancer. She didn't donate a bunch of money that she said she was going to from the proceeds of her app to charity. She said she donated 25% to charity. She did not. And during a book deal that she had signed with Penguin, they had been doing some due diligence on her, and rumors kept coming up that, it wasn't you know, what she was telling the world was not what their investigators were telling them, because when you sign book deals, they will investigate you and they will look into your background, they'll look into your claims, and they will make sure what you are saying is correct. Um, and then a couple of journalists from the Sydney Morning Herald got tipped off, and they started writing some articles on Belle and her cons, and then everything came crashing down around her. So it is a really interesting treatment of Belle Gibson. Apple cider vinegar is quite good. I really like the actor Caitlin Dever. She's really really good. I liked her from Last Man Standing, and yeah. So we'll talk more about that as we get into it. And we have new information on Sophia Franklin. More information released from her family today. So some more like minor details. Yes, she did. So her app, the whole pantry, was supposed to be automatically installed on Apple Watches. She was invited to California to be at like a big Apple event where they were going to announce all of this, and uh, you know, she was turning into this like media phenomenon, and it was all fake. It was all fake. She never had cancer, and she hurt a lot of people. When you are that sick, you are looking for, any ray of hope. When you either have someone in your life or it's you, and you are that ill, you are looking for anything that can give you even 0.5% of feeling better or getting you back to healthy. And to prey on that is one of the lowest things you could ever do. and I don't think we know today what her offending the damage she did worldwide. It could be much larger than we know it is officially, because we don't know how many people bought into her ideals. We don't know how many people died as a result of not getting the proper treatment or delaying treatment. Maybe it took down their odds of survival. These are all directly related to her, and I don't know how you live the rest of your life with that shadow hanging over you. But she has to. She has to. All right. We'll talk more about Belle Gibson in a minute. I want to give you an update on something else first. So that was my little intro to the different topics for tonight. Yeah, let me tell this. Guys, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, hope you're having a great Wednesday out there. Ah, interesting. I didn't know that. Let me go all the way back here. Let me go all the way back here, all the way back here. Hey, RX girl, I've been wondering about you. How are you? How have you been going with the trial? Let me know. Gayla, good to see you. Mamma Mia, Nana Lana. Who else do we have? Marilyn Landis is here. Rachel. Who else? Who else? Who else? Marjorie's here. Hey, Marjorie. Lisa's here. Am I missing people? Maybe. Robbie T made it. Deborah L's here. April B, retired RN. Sienna's here. Hey, Sienna. Marlene Clausen. Who else have I? Wendy R. Hey, Wendy R. Juniper's here. Hey, Juniper. How are you, my friend? Who else do we have? Blaze made it. I just don't want to miss people. Tharvy's here. Hey, Tharvy. I think we got just about everyone. Jojo made it. Hey, Jojo. All right. Marjorie said, just awful when people prey on the vulnerable. It is despicable. I agree. Blaze says, my husband traveled to a country in the EU to pick up 2 suitcases full of some vinegar cancer remedy. Sadly, her husband was willing to try anything to save his wife of 6 years. This stuff was a con. Yeah, it goes into the whole apple cider vinegar thing and why it became such a like, can you imagine that? Drinking apple cider vinegar every day, like liters of it, thinking that it's going to save your life. I think you'd have really terrible heartburn in about an hour. RS Girl said, we had planned on going today after lunch, but then it ended around that time, so he said, forget it. It closed up very quick today. I will go more into that a bit later. Let me see. I blame. Yep. Yes. All right. Yeah, could you imagine that? Drinking like an entire bottle of apple cider vinegar? I don't think I want to do that. I'm good. Unless it's got like a salad and a steak with it. I don't really want any apple cider vinegar. I'm good. All right. All right. So we have more information on Sophia Franklin. So if you don't know who that is, it's a 16-year-old girl missing out of Wisconsin. Well, sort of. She's originally from Wisconsin, but she had been staying in Arkansas for a while with her 40-year-old groomer, and his name is called Mr. Day. He is 40 years old, preying on a 16-year-old girl who is carrying his child. She is pregnant, at least 3 months pregnant, and yeah, he has been grooming this girl, we think, from around when she was 13 or 14. So this has been going on for a number of years, And her family has come out with some even more details today. So I want to talk to you about them because they still haven't been able to locate them. They also put out a new Amber Alert today. It's an extended Amber Alert. Originally, we had Wisconsin, Arkansas, but now we have Missouri. And the reason for that is because on Sunday night, they were spotted, or at least the vehicle was spotted driving through Missouri. To where? Don't know. But they said that they could be going in any direction. They didn't even tell us which way they were going. So let me give you some more details here. from her family. All right. They say the mother of the missing 16-year-old girl, Sophia Franklin, has released more details about her missing daughter on Wednesday, including the fact that she does not look pregnant. She often wears glasses, and her eye involuntarily moves when she chews food. That's an interesting thing to throw in there. Everyone's going to be staring at people's eyes at diners. Any like teenage girl is going to get some weird looks from people going, "Did her eye twitch? Should we call 911?" That is an interesting, you know, fact to throw in there. Sophia, who is 3 months pregnant and is the subject of an active Amber Alert, was last seen on February 3 at her Beaver Dam home. She was reported missing and is with 40-year-old Gary Day of Arkansas. Day, who has a history of harming children, is on probation for endangering a child and is the father of the child. He now faces 4 felony charges in connection with Sophia's disappearance. This is the second time Day has driven to Beaver Dam and taken Sophia out of the state. Her family says she needs to come home and continue with the medical care she has been receiving for herself and the baby. That's from her mum, Leah. Sophia's mother said in a statement, "We are so anxious for her to get the care she needs both physically and mentally." Leah said her daughter has been wearing a rose gold ring with a pink heart shaped gem on the left hand. Interesting. Sophia has been struggling with morning sickness during the early months of her pregnancy and has had recent outbreaks of hives on her arms, legs, and face, according to her mom. Sophia and Day met online in April. Day drove to Wisconsin and took Sophia to his Arkansas home on July 29th. According to a criminal complaint, her parents remained in contact with her and believed that she was staying with friends in Beaver Dam. They learned this was not the case when Arkansas law enforcement officers went to Day's home on December 10th for a probation check and found Sophia in his home. Sophia was returned to Beaver Dam and had been living with her parents up until she was taken again by Day from the state on February 3 of this year. When she returned to Wisconsin, uh, Day sent the teenager several messages beginning on January 26, threatening to harm himself because they were separated, according to a criminal complaint. That is like the most sad, you know, just what kind of what kind of man is he to try and emotionally manipulate a 16-year-old girl with the threats of harming himself because they are separated? This is like some sort of 15-year-old relationship. Like it's ridiculous that a 40-year-old man is saying that type of stuff to a 16-year-old girl. Sophia is described by police as a white girl. It's very descriptive. 5 feet 9 inches tall, and she weighs roughly 186 pounds. What is that in kilos? 84 kilograms. So she weighs around 84 kilos, but she is quite a tall girl. She's 5'9". Day is described by police as a white man. Again, very descriptive. He's 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighing roughly 165 pounds and has blonde hair and green eyes. He may have blonde hair, but I'm going to show you something. They updated his Amber Alert today, and I think you'll all find this very entertaining. Let me just get into it and I'll show you what I mean. Because when I saw this, I was laughing like a drain. It was hilarious to me. All right, let's go into here. Where here's Sophia. Yeah, 5 months, 3 months pregnant. All right, let's go. Here's Gary Day. All right. So yesterday it said that Gary was a female. Okay, it's changed today. We have more information. Under his listing for sex, it now says male. Okay, that makes sense. Down here, description: unknown clothing and black rimmed glasses. Identifying features: balding. if if you see this man, you should call 911 because a 16-year-old girl is at risk, and so is her baby. But you should be looking for this man who is balding. Yes, he definitely has a chrome dome on top here. You can see it in this very pixelated screenshot of Gary Day. That yes, he indeed is missing some hair from his head. They're saying here the Beaver Dam, Wisconsin Police Department has issued an Amber Alert for a child abduction that occurred at Beaver Dam, Wisconsin on the 3rd of February 2025 at 7:48 a.m. in the morning. And they're saying here there's a no contact order between them. We know that. The suspect and the victim may be traveling through Missouri to an unknown destination in Arkansas. Okay, that is new. They before the other day they said they didn't know where they were heading. So now they believe they're driving through Missouri to Arkansas. Okay. They say please call 911 or the Beaver Dam Police Department at 888-304-3936 if you have any information pertaining to this alert. So, yes, Mr. Gary Day here. And yeah, there you go. Receding hairline. Yes. April B said, I'm pretty sure we all noticed. I know. I just find it weird. After a week of her being missing, actually a little longer, they were finally like, I think we need to give the public some more help. We need to describe him better because this photo is very pixelated. Let's put in the description that he is balding so that everyone knows. You know, it is very important information. It has to be known by everyone. I found that very hilarious that they only added that today. Very, very odd. All right, let me take you back to what her mum is saying. So this is a different photo. I've not seen this one before. Good work. I might have to do it like this. There we go. So I've not seen this photo of Sophia before, and I don't know why that doesn't work. That's odd. That's okay. You guys can see it on the screen here. So there is Sophia wearing the glasses that her mum says she has to wear, and that her mum says she does not look pregnant, but may be suffering from morning sickness or hives, hives on her extremities and on her face. So unfortunately, that is an awful ailment to have while you have morning sickness and are pregnant. So she's having a bit of a rough time. And like her mum says up here, she needs to come home and continue with the medical care that she needs for herself and the baby. So yeah, we don't know if she's attending anything like that. Nothing. Let's see. All right, let's go here. Is this got the rest of it? Okay. No. All right, I'm gonna have to pull up a different link. Hold on. There's a second link from her mum. Might be this one. Okay. Let me just pause that. They're saying here an endangered 16-year-old from Wisconsin may be traveling through Missouri with a 40-year-old man, according to the Missouri State Highway Patrol. An endangered person advisory has been issued for Sophia Martha Franklin, 16, who was last seen at her home in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin at 9 p.m. on February 2nd. So that is the day before he was last seen. So he was last seen the morning after at about 7 a.m. in the morning on Feb 3. The Missouri Amber Alert was issued on February 12th, and they're saying a bunch of, Saline, Boone, Cooper, Howard, a bunch of different Morgan County, a bunch of different counties. So they're believed to be traveling in that black 2014 Buick LaCrosse. It has many license plates, but at least one of them is a Pennsylvania plate, KGW5186. Oh, we got a better photo of Mr. Chrome Dome. Hold on, let me grab that for you because we all need to see that. All right. Mr. PDF file. Let's have a look. There we go. That's a better photo of him compared to what they have on the Amber Alert. The Amber Alert one is very pixelated, not very detailed. So there you go. That is Gary Day. And like Reggie Gilbert in the comments says, he should be in jail for life for this crime and situation. I agree. Um, yes, he should be. So if you see him, if you live in Missouri, Arkansas, or Wisconsin, or any state surrounding that area that they may be able to drive through to get to another location or to avoid authorities, keep your eye out for this guy and for Sophia too. Rachel said, I keep thinking that they'll run out of money soon and get caught somewhere. You'd hope so that this will come to a peaceful resolution and that they can get her home. I hope so too. Wendy asked it, I wonder what it is that she sees in him. I don't know. If you can answer that question, we may all not exist. You know, this it's like one of those mysteries of life. Why do some young girls like older guys? Why do some older men like younger girls? Like it's just one of those things in life, you know. It didn't say it was right. It's just, you know, it happens. Rachel said, yeah, I keep thinking they'll run out of money. Adult attention could be. I had heard from people that her life has been quite like her parents are very nice people, but I had heard that they are quite strict. That while she has freedom, like you know, like any other teenage girl, they are somewhat. The word I would use would be protective. Very protective over Sophia, which you know that's a good thing, but I don't know if that contributed to her wanting to get away or, you know, find a way out or something. Sorry, this is going to be a white background and I hate to do it to you, but that's what they've given us. So avert your eyes if you're in the dark. They're saying here Missouri State Highway Patrol, this is their activation of the Amber Alert. They're saying website will be updated as more information becomes available. So there we go, Sophia, and then there's that vehicle. Identifying features, bolding. Yeah. He- Look out for the bold guy. Not Santa Claus, a different one. This one. The one that doesn't give presents to children. He apparently gives them babies and abducts them from their home. Not quite like Santa Claus. Um Here, vehicle, black Buick LaCrosse, KGW5186. It's a four-door, 2014 model. And it says here, the suspect is known to use multiple license plates on the vehicle, including Arkansas plate BBR20L and a PA license plate KGW5186. So, yeah, it says down here, anyone seeing the victim, suspect, or vehicle should immediately dial 911 to contact the nearest law enforcement agency. So, there you go. Sorry, I'll get this off your screen. I'm sorry for people in the dark. There we go. Dun dun dun. Have you seen this man? Have you seen him? He may reflect sunlight off the top of his head. Be very careful. He may use it as a weapon to escape from authorities. You know, be very careful out there. He is a dangerous man. Thavi says, creepy adult attention. Yeah, creepy adult attention. Kathy says, in high school, there was a young science teacher that a lot of girls went gaga over. I thought that was gross. Wendy asks, says, he does not even drive a good car. Yeah, man. If he had a Mercedes, you can imagine all the girls. Sean said, as a soccer coach of an all-age girls team, I had appeal from 13 to 16-year-olds that I had to ignore. Strange, as I was twice their age. Sean, they're not coming on to you. They want access to your birds. That's what it is. They know you have these two birds, and they're like, this guy has the best birds in the local area. We have to go and see them. If we're nice to him, he might take us there. Wendy R says he doesn't drive a good car. That's right. It's a Buick LaCrosse. What that is, don't ask Ping because I don't think they sell it in Australia. Let me see. What is that car? I don't even know what a Buick is. Do they even have that in Australia? I don't think so. I don't think we even have Buicks here. Buick LaCrosse. Okay. Let's see. Is it like a cheap car? Probably. It looks like a rip-off of like an Aston Martin, like an old one, like a DB9. That's what it looks like. It looks like a Temu version Aston Martin. There you go. There's a similar 2014 from Beijing. This one's from Beijing apparently. But there you go, similar model. But the other one's black. The one we're looking for is a black color. It's an expensive car, is it? Let's have a look. Let's see. Let's go to cars.com. How much would it cost me for an 11-year-old Buick? Let's see. Because that's what it is. It's an 11-year-old Buick. What model? 2014, right? Okay. Its MSRP range is $33,000 to $40,000. But what would it be on the second-hand market? About what? About just below 11,000 up to around 20 grand apparently. So there you go. 2014 Buick LaCrosse. It has a leather interior. Maybe that's what gets all the young girls. You got to have a leather interior. Maybe that's what they like. 10,000, 14,000. So there you go. You can see the price ranges for them. Oh, this one's cheap. It probably has been moving cocaine through the county, and they just want to get rid of it now because it's too well known. That's why they've taken thousands off the price. It's probably like a coke car. This one too, used for moving cocaine through the county. Why is this one so cheap? $4,500. How come all the others are really, really expensive? This one's like, oh, it's like 4 grand. Why is it so cheap? Oh, we left the dead body in the boot. You're gonna have to deal with that, but you'll save like $7,000 on the car, but you have to deal with the dead person in the back of the boot. There you go. It's a Holden Commodore, is it? No, it's a GM, right? Buick is sold under the Holden badge in Australia. Is it? I don't know if I've ever seen one, Sean. I bet it's got lots of mileage. It could be. It's probably a flood car. Oh, like in Florida or Carolina. Yeah, I've heard about that. Opel is Buick in North America. What? Opel is Buick in North America. Opel made cars for Australia too. I don't know if I want to drive a car that's called an Opel. That's a weird name for a car. It's not very cool, is it? Might do well in like the Chinese market. They like stuff like that. If you called it like something like Emerald or Jade, you'd sell millions of models every year. But in Australia, a car called an Opel, I don't think it would do that well. Had an accident? Could be. It did have a Carfax alert thing next to it. So it's probably been in some sort of prang. It's probably been beat up or something. All right. All right. Sophia Franklin. Gotta find her. She's been missing for ages, almost 2 weeks now. Almost 2 weeks. Alright, let's go here, this one. Alright, just double check. There we go. I like how they've got the suspect, the victim, and the vehicle, and they're like, "Look, this is a wheel. You can you're gonna have to keep an eye out for the wheels, all right? When it's driving, you won't be able to see the pattern, but we want you to look out for this very specific wheel. Might be the difference between finding her and not finding her." What does it say here? According to the Amber Alert out of Wisconsin, Sophia was last seen at her residence. Yeah, we know all that. What does it say here? Officials with the One in Five Foundation for Kids, a national nonprofit helping with the search for Franklin, say they believe she's traveling through Iowa, en route to Arkansas. We keep hearing different places. It's Missouri, it's Iowa, it's Arkansas, it's Wisconsin. I know they're sort of far apart, but so they might be going through Iowa. Yeah, Des Moines, Iowa. Officials with the One in Five Foundation, a national nonprofit helping in the search for a pregnant Wisconsin teenager, say they believe she's traveling through Iowa. So yeah, okay, there's a new bit of information. I hadn't heard Iowa associated with her at all. We have a lot of people that watch the channel that are from Iowa. So if you are from the the state or the maybe one of the bordering communities and you see these two, you should call it in. Call it in for us. Help end this as quickly as possible. They saying authorities encourage anyone with information about Franklin and or Day's whereabouts. I like that. They're like, we're very concerned about the girl. The guy, not so much. We don't really care that much. We just want the girl back. That's what the wording says. Authorities encourage anyone with information about Franklin, and then it says and or Day's whereabouts. So they're like, well, if we have to hear about him, we will, but we're just more concerned about the 16-year-old girl. They're saying the One in Five Foundation for Kids sent a news release out Wednesday afternoon, just saying that they may be traveling through Iowa. I can't say I'd heard that before about her traveling through there. They just updated the one today saying that she may be in Missouri. So this is really all over the place. And I don't know if it's because they're dealing with multiple agencies. I don't know, but it's odd that we get this one and then we got the one about Missouri on the same day. I would just say anywhere between Arkansas and Wisconsin, they could be anywhere. And they're probably trying to avoid certain roads that they know authorities are probably going to look for them on. So any of your big probably any of your big like interstate, if they can get around it somehow, they're probably not on like I-20, I-45 or whatever. They're probably trying to stay off it as much as possible to avoid being seen. Let's see, 1 in 5. Yep. Okay. Let me just switch to a different one for you. All right, let me get rid of the car. We don't need that anymore. All right. All right, there we go. Deborah says, "Why the hell would he be doing this then?" I I don't know, because he abuses children. That's what he does. He's already been charged with hurting another child. Seems to be a running theme. So, Iowa, Missouri, and Arkansas. That is true. Deborah said this guy needs to be found fast and taken off the streets. I agree. Hey, Jonna, how are you? Good to see you. Vauxhall. Yeah, I know Vauxhall from the UK. Deborah said, does this guy honestly think they will be able to live in hiding for the rest of their lives? Considering she's only about 3 months pregnant, they got a long time before she has that baby. So if they're trying to stay away from authorities until she gives birth, they got a hell of a challenge ahead of them. Sienna said, "I'm sure she changed her hair so it'll be harder to identify her." It would be one of the natural things you would think that she might do. Let me just grab this. I just want to search Iowa because I've not got anything like that before that article. All right. Family of missing teens speaks out. Yeah, we already did that. ABC 11. No, we did that. I don't know. There's only like that one paper reporting that Iowa connection. Oh my God, that scared the hell out of me. Spectrum News had like this. Just let me double check this. I hope that's not what I just read. Please be about a different story. Okay. So at the bottom of this, there must be another story going on because it said like in the search result, it said whatever this county is here, they're like have identified two people that were found today, and I was like, oh my God, they're both dead. I was like, that's not what we want to hear, but I think it's about a completely different story. That's not good. Almost scared the hell out of me. All right, what does it say here? We already read that. All right, yeah, okay. So her family said these are the additional details. She is wearing glasses, like in this photo. She does not look pregnant right now. Yeah. She's been dealing with hives on her arms, legs, and even face. Her eye makes an involuntary movement when she chews. Okay. She's been struggling with morning sickness, and she's been wearing a rose gold ring with a pink heart-shaped gem on her left hand. That is that the ring there? Let's have a look. Can we get that enlarged? Ah, there we go. Is that the ring they're talking about, or is that a different ring? There is a ring. Is that her left hand? Yeah, that's her left hand. That is her left hand. Do you think this is some sort of like engagement ring from her abuser? That could be it. What are they saying here? First of all right. Okay. According to a criminal complaint filed in Dodge County against Day, video from a home surveillance system showed a person who appeared to be Gary Day walking near a house. The person was dressed in black pants, black long sleeve shirt, and a gray winter hat. Video shows the person walking near a home in Beaver Dam, walking up a driveway, and then running as they approach the back of the house. The person is seen looking around, but the clip then ends. The criminal complaint also stated that a black Buick vehicle was parked one block south of Franklin's residence around 5:20 a.m. According to a witness, the vehicle appeared to be running. Day's mother confirmed she had bought her son a black Buick. So mummy bought it for him. He ain't buying that car, his mum did. According to the complaint, a black vehicle matching that description was seen on Wisconsin Department of Transport cameras traveling southbound on Highway 151 near Sun Prairie, Wisconsin at 8:30 a.m. on Monday, February 3. That would be about 45 minutes after the person matching his description was seen on the CCTV or home surveillance camera. Authorities said the suspect vehicle in this case is a black 2014 Buick and that the vehicle has utilized various license plates. Yep, we know that. Day has a long criminal history and is already a convicted felon, according to court records. In previous statements, the family indicated that they were cooperating fully with authorities. They say here, the authorities, have done an outstanding job in looking for our daughter. and making sure that when she is found, justice will finally be served. They're saying, yeah, her parents want this message to go out in case she's listening. We want to remind Sophie that the best is yet to come. Vacations, graduations, impromptu karaoke sessions, bonfires, and so many memories to make together. It's it's a interesting list of things to tell your daughter, but sure. Vacations, graduations, and karaoke sessions. That is an interesting bucket list. They're saying here, yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna do any more than that. She looks very different from photo to photo. I don't know about you, but when I see her in this photo, I wouldn't recognize this girl as this girl. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be if I saw this girl in one shop and then I went to a different place and this girl was sitting at a table. I wouldn't be like, "Oh my god, that's the same person." They look very different in these photos, at least to me. They look not the same, and it's not just she's wearing glasses. It's just a few things. She just looks slightly different. So a promise ring sounds like something that all 16-year-old pregnant girls definitely want on their hand. A promise ring. 'Cause it's not the other type of ring. It's not one of those, what do they call them? Um, I can't remember. It's like the one that they give you in those church places that say you won't have sex before marriage. It's not one of them because she already pregnant. We already know about that. No More BS says, "Geez, another mummy protecting her criminal adult child." That is true. I Hate Morning says, "I wonder if it's a promise ring from her parents, like some religious parents buy, like a yeah, I know what you mean." Blaze says, "Poor kid, he may be her first love. If her parents didn't allow her to date yet, his mum must have known what was going on." You would hope someone knew. Someone. Although she did trick her parents to say that she was staying at a friend's house, and that worked for a number of months. So they sound wholesome. They do. Oh, the parents. Sorry, I thought you meant her and the 40-year-old, and I was like, sure, in a criminal kind of way. You mean the parents? Yes, they sound very nice. Gayla says it's a purity ring. That's right. That's the word I was looking for. A purity ring. That's right. Yeah. I'm glad I make someone laugh every day. If I can do that to at least one person every day, then my job is complete. Okay. I don't know too much more about Sophia. That's about it for today, guys. I really wish I had more, but I don't. All I can tell you is that I hope she's found soon, and I hope it's one of the members of public. Like the public will see her, recognize her, and call it in and get this taken care of, and we can get her home to her mom and dad. She can have her baby, be nice and healthy, welcome a child into this world, and get that guy into a jail cell so he can't do this to any other underage girls. So, like the Jonas Brothers, yeah. How long did that last? I think they were. I think they were going against their purity rings pretty quick. Pretty quick. Yeah. Let's all pray for her. Jojo says some parents months. Yeah, months. She was gone for months. Apparently, staying at a friend's house. Wendy R says, "You think a gas station attendant would ID them? Do you think he would let her out of the vehicle at a gas station now?" I think maybe not, but he's very recognizable. You know, like the description says, he's a 40-year-old white man who is balding. Gotta listen to the Amber Alert, people. Has all relevant information. has everything you need to know about Gary Day, including the sorry, I make myself laugh sometimes on the show. Yeah, identifying features, balding. I mean, I'm not making fun of people, men who have male pattern baldness. It's a terrible plight, I promise. But it's funny in this context because of him. He makes it funny, not the fact that he's losing his hair. Losing hair is very demasculating for men, and it's a hard thing to deal with. So, but for him, it's quite funny because of who he is. All right, Sophia. Yep. Okay, we're done. We're done with this one. If I have more information, I will bring it to you. Sage has to pee somewhere. Yes. She'll need mental health when they find her. Definitely. He'll wear a wig, like a toupee, or do you mean like that stuff that comes in a can? And they're like, "Oh, look, you now have hair," but it's really like I don't know what's in that can. Like silly string. It's black silly string and it just sticks to your head. Sienna says she would have to get out of the car to go to the bathroom. Well, you'd hope so. Otherwise, that's a very, very strange thing to do in a car. Retired RN says maybe he has a toupee now. Maybe. Maybe he's been watching the show and he's heard what I had to say about it. And he went down and shot a raccoon and he's like doing the you know, the Davy Crockett thing, and he's glued the raccoon to his head. Be on the lookout for this man. He may have a raccoon glued to his head. April B said he could be wearing a hat. A hat? Could be. I mean, people become, you know, unrecognizable when they wear hats. Although they said he was wearing a head covering in that article. Here. Where is it? Yeah. They said a gray winter hat. There you go. No one can see his shame. No one can see his shame. He's wearing a gray winter hat. What the hell is a gray winter hat? It could be like one of 50 different things. Like you know what it is? You know what I think he's wearing? I think I've tracked it down. I think I've tracked it down. I think I know what was in that CCTV. What kind of hat it is. Give me a sec. It's definitely this. It's definitely this with the shape of his head. It's very cannonball shaped. It's definitely this. I mean, they didn't give us a description, but I definitely think this could be it. I think this could be the head covering that he was wearing in that CCTV. Whipping cream or stringy cheese? Could be. Jojo says your dad was 22, mum was 17 and pregnant. Your mum? Gayla says she may have a shiwi. A what? What is that? She may have. Is that a Scottish word for a vagina? Or what does that mean? You're gonna have to tell me what that means. You Scottish people in your slang come up with all sorts of crazy words. Jonna says crazy foam. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely that hat. That's right. With the veil. That's right. He's trying to mask his identity. C. Taylor says very late. How's Mrs. Ping? You know, she's 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 as good as she can be in the circumstances. She ended up seeing that like surgeon yesterday, but it just didn't. I mean, so she's seen two surgeons now this week. Both of them have very different ideas about what is wrong with her, and both of them, the surgery to do it, whether doesn't matter which problem it is, the surgery to do it is horrific. Like, it is just life-changing. Like, it's life-changing. It is the recovery is a long time. I think they said the initial recovery is like 12 weeks, but the recovery after that to get all your muscles back and things like that, apparently it's like up to half a year. So it's gonna really disturb life and things like that. There's a huge risk associated with it. Like, she could die in surgery. Like, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. We were hoping for better news, and unfortunately, both surgeons we spoke to said they had different ideas of how to fix or what they think the problem is, but the way to do the surgery didn't change. The way to do the surgery is exactly the same from both of them, and it's just yeah, it's just I don't know, and they're like, you can either have the surgery or you can live with it. Like, that's the option they gave her. They're like, you can have this highly risky surgery that there's no guarantee that it won't just go backwards in like 2 years, or you can just find a way to live with what's going on. You know, she's in immense pain every day, can't eat properly, and you think like, is that a life? Like, is that a quality of life that she can't eat food that she likes? She can't even eat bread right now, like a piece of bread or a slice of pizza. She couldn't even eat that right now. So it's just it's frustrating, very frustrating. Yeah, I will tell her. She loves you all very much. Are we talking about? It's not nothing to do with that. Sienna says, "Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it." Robbie T said, "At most camping stores. Oh, you can get a shiwi. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna have to look it up. What is this? I have to be very cautious because I worry that when I type this in and I hit images on Google search, I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna see here because I'm a true crime content creator. So all my settings for like blurring stuff are off. All right, hold on. All right, what is this thing? Oh, okay. What the hell? Oh, it's like a funnel. It's like a vaginal funnel. That's what it is. All right. Hey, I mean, I've seen the lines for bathrooms at music festivals for women, yet the urinal for men is always open. So I mean, if you could do it and you can make it work, sure. I mean, I anything that gets women to stop lining up with 900 other women for 2 hours to go to the bathroom. I've never seen one of those before. I guess I should put it on the screen, otherwise people won't understand what we're showing. Okay, let's go here. There you go. It's like for ladies who want to pee in places that men can. There you go. Sienna agreed the options right now. Yeah, they're just crap options right now. So you can pee in bottles like a real truck driver, like a real cab driver, like a real Amazon delivery person. C Taylor says, so not a bidet, it's a funnel. There you go, it's a funnel. Marjorie said, is it IBD? My son has Crohn's and is on biologic. It's a sucky disease. Something similar, yes. Something similar but different. I'm not allowed to tell you. She doesn't want me to tell you. She doesn't want me to go into any details, but something similar. Deborah said that sounds very uncomfortable. Yeah, it does. If you walk around with it out of your zipper, do you get arrested for indecent exposure like men do? Like, is that like a thing? They're like, hey, you have to stop. You have to put that away. Ain't no one want to see your shiwi. You don't put that away and cover up, we're gonna have to charge you with indecent exposure around children. There's children here too. You have to be careful. Uh, try going to a nurse convention. Yeah, that would be brutal. Just no to the P bowl. Is that what it's called? The P bowl? All right, let's get this off the screen before I get taken down for being part of Only Friends or something. All right, there we go. Liza, hey, how are you? I have friends with Crohn's. Yeah, it's a horrible disease. Deborah says I'd rather pee in the bushes any day. Yeah, yeah. Don't neglect those bushes. No one wants to see your shiwi. That's right. Put it away. Cover up. What is this? This is not Only Friends. C. Taylor says women wouldn't have it hanging out of their zipper. Oh, you don't know. I'm like, I see an image right here of a woman doing exactly that, walking around with her shiwi hanging out. So I don't know. You say women won't do it. I can tell you that I see women in screenshots here doing exactly that. So I don't know. I'm not going to get into this topic any further. I'll add some information about something, and then I'm not. It's just not what we do here. We talk about true crime. Gail said there's also a bag with crystals. Yes, I have seen that. All right, let's get on. What are we talking about? This? Who brought this up? I blame them. All right, let's do a little bit on Megan, but very little. We're in Verdict Watch now. It is it is. I reckon it's going to be over and done with by tomorrow. I think by the end of tomorrow, we're going to have a verdict. And I think the state has done a very good job in conveying who Megan is, what happened to Evelyn, and the things that led up to that. Um, the things I think the defense has done poorly include not putting their client on the stand so that she could explain herself to the jury and the public and the surrounding world about why she lied to everyone. The other thing is the fact that her defense decided not to run any defense. They just went, oh, we rest our case. That's why today we went straight into verdict. Even the judge was surprised. The judge was like, you sure we got like another week of this? You don't want to call any witnesses, put people on the stand. Don't have any medical experts or people that knew Evelyn. No. All right. Give us like a 1 hour break and then we're going to come back and go into closing arguments. So we went straight into closing arguments today. And I want you to hear just a little bit of this from this guy. This guy has just been one of the, like, it's like meaningless, the things he says. It's like he gets paid by the word and he just rambles about the most inane rubbish that has nothing to do with anything. Like it has something to do with Evelyn. It has something to do with, the case in general, but it's never anything specific. It's just very vague. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean. Listen to him talk for a couple of minutes.
And I'll just admit to you, when all of this really starts, the child is dead. Now, we hear from other witnesses. We hear from Paul Miller. That is Ethan Perry's grandfather. He had no reason to believe that she wasn't a good mother. Seemed like she liked being a mom. Saw no signs of abuse or neglect. We heard from Audrey Gibbs. She had been with Megan almost every day up until she moved to Knoxville in 2019. She describes Megan as a good mom. There were a few things. There was once where she thought her diaper needed to be changed. Once where they neglected to buckle the car seat. But those are mistakes. That's not child neglect. That's not child abuse. Those are mistakes. Audrey talks about Megan coming to Knoxville in December sometime, and by that point she's actually disassociated. She's not normal. She's saying I love you over and over again to her. So again, maybe she's not grieving right. Bailey Hawkins stayed at the Econo Lodge with Megan. Megan just went to sleep, despite Bailey thought they might do things, they might talk or whatever they might do. But she just went to sleep. Again, I would suggest to you she's disassociated. Bailey saw no signs of abuse, no signs of neglect. Mr. Horn questioned her. She described Evelyn as the one consistent love that Megan had. And Megan is a girl who comes from a world of fractured relationships. Miss Massengill wants to downplay Megan's home life. Matt Price did it. There's a video in there. He talks about it. He talks about, I mean no disrespect, but I know that Boswell family. I'm aware of them. I know how you come up. Your mom and daddy using drugs. I mean, you want to talk about a home life? Watch the video with Agent Fraley. Her mom was let in there in stripes, a jail uniform. What kind of home life was that?
So are you saying that we should excuse Megan for killing her child because of all this random crap you're talking about? He is the worst defense attorney I've ever watched at a trial. He's just rambles about absolute nonsense. He did this for about 30 minutes. I'm not going to play it all because he bores you to tears. It's almost like he wants the jury to fall asleep and then he can wake them up and be like, see, you all agree with me. And they're like, yeah, what happened? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm sure we do. Is that what you said? Did you say that we agreed with him? Oh, you did? Okay, well, yeah, yes, we agree with you. He is just terrible. This is the other bit here. I want you. He did a post interview today after they did closing statements. By the way, prosecution did a great closing statement today. They're really, really good. But I want to. Where is it? Up here. Yes, here. Yeah, I posted this on Twitter. Not everyone would have seen it though. I think it's here. So these are the kind of things he said throughout trial that make you just go, huh? What? All right, here we go.
Who she is today.
I think she's a nice young woman. I hope she has a full life ahead of her.
All right. Well, Gene Scott, thank you so much. And again, we expect jurors to be deliberating for quite some time as they're mulling over these 19 charges here in Bluntville. We're not sure exactly what time they'll call it tonight. If they do, we are expecting them again, like I said, to continue to mull over this. And of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on air. And I
don't know why that started so far back. Sorry about that.
know there's been obviously a lot of talk that you hope they're really considering right now and really mulling over inside that jury room.
I hope they're considering all the evidence, but in particular, I hope they're considering the testimony from both medical examiners and the fact of the latex gloves found in the trash can with the child that had male DNA on them.
And I know there's been obviously a lot of talk about Hunter Wood here in this. And this morning, prosecutors brought forth a piece of, paper from the state of Virginia that, talked about his involuntary, commitment to the mental institute there. But let's talk a little bit about why you want his name to, be said in this trial.
I don't think the only reason his name come up was because that's what Megan talked to Brian Fraley about in her interview. So that's why his name is in this trial. That's in evidence. And the thing about that interview is she was, they initially charged her with a false report in that count. They dismissed that count. And so it's our position that her interview with the TBI was truthful.
And let's talk a little bit about that.
Her interview with the TBI was truthful. You mean the girl who lied to investigators for weeks on end, hour after hour, as they showed her baby photos of her own child, children's clothing, celebratory moments in the child's life, and she just sat there and told lie after lie as if it was the truth to her. She didn't flinch. And then every time something would get hard, this is something I noticed throughout the trial and watching those interviews with Megan. Every time a question would get a little too touchy or a little too close to the truth, she would just break down in tears. And it was her way of deflecting from the question. Happened every time like clockwork. Every time they got a little too close to like, making her break or getting too close to an answer that actually made sense, she would just start bawling into tears out of nowhere, and they would just stop as soon as they moved on to another question. The tears would dry up and just stop, and she'd talk normally again. It just, yeah. So you're telling us that girl was being truthful in her TBI interview? I don't know about that, buddy. I don't know about that. And it's this bit that gets me. I hope it's this one anyway.
I know that you did raise a question in the beginning about why she said, that night she gave them that confession, if you will, but they didn't go to the property until a couple of days later.
I don't have an answer to that. I know they had searched the property on the 23rd with cadaver dogs, and maybe that's why they didn't think it was fruitful.
And I know that a lot of folks have been having their eyes on this trial. Talk to me a little bit about what you want people at home to know.
I just want people at home to know that maybe Megan has been painted with the wrong brush. The girl that's sitting in there beside me in the courtroom, she's not the girl that you're seeing on the videos from 5 years ago.
Sorry, what? What do you want us to do with that? You're just like, yes, so the Megan that's in there today, she has definitely matured. That would make sense since it is 5 years after the fact. We are all different people in 5 years' time. But if you want us to believe that she is somehow magically cured or whatever, and what does that have to do with what happened back then? You can't be like, that guy that walked into that shopping center and killed 35 people, I want you just to know he's a very different person today. You should find him not guilty. I want you all to know that. He's a very different person at this point in time. What's it got to do with anything about her case? Who cares what she's like today? I don't care what she's like today. I don't care if she learned to freaking read Chinese while she's in prison. Don't care. I care what happened back then and why that little girl is no longer alive. I don't care about what progress she has made because that's not what we're focusing on. We're focusing on how Evelyn died. That's what we're focusing on. That was why we're at this freaking trial. You're here, there's a judge, there's like a panel of people. We like to call them a jury. It's just ridiculous. Like, this guy has nothing to say consistently. Consistently has nothing of value to add for anything ever. Not even during the trial. You saw it. He just rambles. Oh yeah, you saw in the interviews. It was like some people, and yeah, they like Megan. They thought she was a great mom. Okay, what do you want to like again? People can put on a mask, especially in front of people they care about or like or think will judge them. They can present very differently. It means nothing in the grand scheme of things. And after all the information we've learned about Evelyn's life and how her life degraded over time, these momentary observations from these people surrounding Evelyn mean nothing. It really doesn't, because she could have done all sorts of things to make her appear to be very different in front of them. Oh, really? Is that true? Why? For what reason? I wouldn't pay him I wouldn't pay him off the McDonald's value meal. I would be like, it's a bit much for you. Sean said Sydney schools closed. We're not sure when it will hit. I don't know what you're talking about, but what is this? What is going to hit? Sharknado? Is that what's going to happen? Jonna says maybe she was painted with the wrong brush. What does he even mean using the word maybe? I don't think she was painted with the wrong brush at all. And if this was going to be their defense that, this was a completely different type of case here, they did a piss poor job of displaying it at trial. They didn't convince anyone that it was any different to what the prosecution brought forward. And if that was their tactic, I mean, it's interesting. He says earlier on in this interview that they think they basically won yesterday. Yesterday, when that doctor was on the stand talking about it was that question like, oh, could you know for sure if she died in the trash can or whatever? They thought they won the case on that. That's why they rested today. They rested today because they thought that was their big moment in the trial. I don't think so. I don't know if anyone else out there thinks they got a big win out of that. All I saw was a medical professional who didn't want to bend to your questioning. To It was basically she didn't want to have her words misconstrued to make it seem like she was approving of whatever he was asking. So, she wanted to make it very clear that X, Y, and Z happened, and she didn't want to be manipulated by this defense attorney. That's all I saw. I didn't see any big win for the defense out of that. And then he tried to do a mistrial this morning, and the judge just went, I don't think so, for like the fourth, third, second time during trial. Gayla says she was looked after until moved into her own place and the neglect started. Right. That is exactly what happened. I'm trying to find. The prosecution rebuttal was really good. That attorney is very well spoken. The prosecution did a really good job in closing arguments, and I think they framed it perfectly. Hopefully, we get a good result out of it, but I just don't know what he provided for Megan Boswell. Like, can anyone tell me? I don't know. I watched the entire trial. I have every single minute on my computer and I've watched every single minute. And I cannot tell you what he did for her. Anything? Something? Didn't even provide her with a decent defense. Like, it's bizarre, really is. They think they're going to get off on the prosecution not proving their case. That's the path they've taken. The path they've taken is that that's what they believe. They believe that the prosecution hasn't done a good enough job to prove any of the counts that are on the jury sheet. So I personally don't believe that, but I'm not on the jury. I can show you that document actually. Give me a sec. If I can get into my downloads here. Here. They showed it today, or at least part of it. They showed part of it here. So they say, we, the jury, find defendant Megan Boswell, and they say mark the appropriate one. I think they were saying if they find her guilty of first degree murder, these ones underneath don't really matter. That this is the one they can just tick that and keep going. They don't really have to worry about this because this is like a superseding, like much more serious charge. And there you go, first degree murder, or guilty of facilitation of first degree murder, or guilty of attempt to commit first degree murder, or guilty of facilitation of attempt to commit first degree murder again, or second degree murder. I can't see the third one. Hold on. Guilty of facilitation of second degree murder. There's probably more because there's another or here, but this is just the one they showed during trial. The tinfoil as tinsel. Okay. Jojo said, so what will her sentence be? I don't know. It depends what charge they get her on. If they get her on second degree murder, I really worry that she may walk out at the end of the trial, and they'll just say, "Hey, time served. Bye. Thanks for coming to trial. Thanks for playing." So I really hope we get that first degree murder. I think if we don't get that from the jury, it could be really dicey heading into sentencing. Really dicey. Let's see. I heard, yeah. Hold on, did I miss someone up here? Thavi. Winner or Evelyn was suffocated. Yes, that is true. Yeah, the lesser charges just get absorbed. Yes, because it's a higher charge. Jonna says, well, Megan went out of her way to cover up where Evelyn was for a long time while trying to put it on others. Yeah, prosecution did a great job demonstrating with those interviews just how easy it was for her just to be like, my mum's got her, Ethan's got her, she's here, she's in Mendota, she's up here, blah, blah, blah. And then they went further by showing you all the messages to her friends and family and people, and even some between her and Hunter, where she just doesn't stop lying about anything, ever. Just nothing. I don't think that girl's ever spoken the truth about anything, even about her own name. Her name's probably not even Megan. It's because it's Megan, right? Hold on. I saw a really good thing. Hey, Summer. Hey, Summer. How are you, my friend? Summer said she's going to prison forever. Let's hope. Let's hope. Then we can give, you know, I hope so. Mama Mia says, you dozed off. She gets out and has another child and kills another child, very possibly. You know, one of the things I thought was scary during the trial is just how easy they were able to paint it. Almost like Evelyn was shoved into that trash can, and the image that got put into my head was like she was in a rush somewhere. Like there was some sort of urgency, and that she just wrapped Evelyn up to stop her crying and to hide her. And then she shoved her into this trash can. And by the time she came back and looked for Evelyn or checked on her, she was dead. That's sort of that's what came to me during the trial. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but when I was listening to all the evidence, that's sort of how it spoke to me about it. But if that's true, and they end up finding out somehow that that's what actually happened, that is horrid. You would shove your baby into a trash can to avoid it crying or being seen. That is like it's some sort of stuffed toy. Maggie? Yeah. Rachel said, I'm seeing life or life without the possibility of parole after 51 years. Yeah, only if they get the first degree. Only. Lisa said, the fingerprint actually made me cry. I know. Jonas says, that makes sense to me. Yeah, that's sort of what I felt during the trial with the prosecution trying to, show us what they think happened. Yeah, with Hunter and her going to work and this and that. That's just sort of that's what I kept thinking and imagining. C. Taylor said Megan's dad was the only person Megan didn't throw under the bus. No, she did. No, 100% she threw Tommy Boswell under the bus several times. No. Oh, yes, she did. Oh, yes, she did. She blamed him for a bunch of things. I'm not sure directly related to Evelyn, but she screwed him over a few times. Hey, Andrew, what's up? Casey Anthony-ish. Yes, very much so. Um, yeah. Hi, Andrew. Hi. How are you? Do you want a high five? I can give you one. There you go. All right. Let's take this down. So we're in Verdict Watch. I know Trish told you they'd already gone home for the day. They basically went in, I think, about 4:30, 4 o'clock. They were done by about 6. By about 6 o'clock, they were just saying, "Hey, we're going to come back first thing Friday morning and have a crack at this again." So I truly believe we're going to get a verdict by 2 o'clock tomorrow. By 2 o'clock tomorrow, everyone's going to get called to the courthouse, and the jury's going to come in and give us their verdict. I don't think this is going to be a long deliberation at all. I think it's going to be very fast. God. Okay. Hmm? Okay. Sorry, someone sent me like not someone in the chat, something completely different. It was for an order I had. Sent me like 50 different confirmation messages, and I was like, I've got the package. It's fine. Deborah says even if she was alive before she was put in the trash can, can Megan Shora's S didn't call 911 to help her at all? No, she didn't. She threw, yeah, everyone and anyone, including her friends. I know I said it in a different show, but I picked up on that every time she would name drop someone into a conversation, she would also add a negative to it. She would add a negative uh something about that person, like, oh, she steals, or oh, I don't want to call her a bad person or anything, but that's just who she is. Like, she would do that every time. Doesn't matter who it was. It was like her mom, her mom's boyfriend, her friends, her best friend, the person she met down the road, like the lady who works at the local supermarket, whoever it was. She would just add sort of a negative comment after she brings them up in conversation, and then would proceed to say that same line. I don't want to make them out to seem like they're a bad person every single time. C. Taylor said, "Sorry, didn't mean. Meant she didn't blame Dad for Evelyn's death. No, she didn't, but she just screwed everyone over. I mean, if everyone was alive, she didn't try to help her. Nope. It's like the baby became inconsequential to where she wanted to go or what she wanted to do, and became a burden to Megan. So she just went, "Oh, I don't have a baby. Oh, I just do whatever I want." It's just, yeah, very selfish young girl, very selfish, and put her needs above her child's needs frequently, which is sad because I think originally, very early on in Evelyn's life, I do believe she was a good mum, and I do believe she was really wholeheartedly into the whole motherhood thing, and then it eventually became too much for her, and instead of seeking out help or seeking out a way out, she just let it bury her, and we're here today. I think that's a big part of it too. That's not an excuse for her, because we don't excuse people for that, but it's just a fact, I think, which you can all understand. She was a young girl living on her own. There's no one to really help, although she did have support in some places. But it's a hard life. I think any single mom will tell you, if they had a child at 18, that's a hard life. It's not easy to raise a child by yourself. It's not. And I think she just, yeah, above everyone in her life's needs, exactly. Everyone. You can hear it in the messages. So that one where she speaks to Hunter, and she's like, "Hunter, I need to go to Mendota or whatever," and he's like, "Where's the baby? Where's the baby? Where's the baby?" And she's like, "Oh, Evelyn's fine, but she might be behind a church in Mendota." And he's just like, "Just tell me if the child's okay. Just tell me if the child." And she just keeps going on about how she needs to get to Mendota. "Why can't you take me out there? Can we take your truck?" And all this stuff. Like, you can tell just how self-absorbed she is. A mum who was missing a child would just be like, "Help me find the kid. I want to find my child. Let's go here and look for her." But instead, she's just more concerned about these manipulating Hunter to get what she needs, to add some sort of fabrication to whatever she's telling the TBI, about Mendota or whatever that place is called. Probably a lovely place. Probably a lot of nice people that live there. Unfortunately, due to the trial, it's got a bit of a cloud hanging over it. Rachel said there seems to be a correlation to living on her own and the neglect. Yes, definitely. Deborah says everything changed when she met Hunter. He didn't want to be a father to her child, so she got rid of the child. Maybe, sort of. I believe it started a little bit before that, though. But I agree with you. Hey, Boston Beauty. Hi, how are you? I raised two at 18, and as soon as I looked into my baby's eyes, they were my world. I struggled, but everything I did was for my kids. I can't relate to Megan. Yeah, and I'm sure it wasn't an easy, like an easy journey. I'm sure having 2 babies at 18 was probably one of the biggest mountains for you to climb that probably even today maybe that you've ever done. But you did it. Good work. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep. Yeah, she writes all these messages. I'm gonna sleep in your truck. Reply to me. Reply to me. Reply to me. Reply to me. Well, I'm just gonna go there. I'm just gonna let myself in. I'm just gonna sleep in your truck. Like, what the f? All right. What one do we have left? Oh yes. Okay. Let's take you out to Australia for. Let's stop talking about Megan for a minute. Let me take you out here. 19 hours ago? No, we don't want that. Hold on. ABC. All right, I'm going to take you to the ABC News Australia. Category 5 cyclone, hurricane for you Americans. If you're in Asia, a typhoon is about to hit Western Australia, northwestern Australia, category 5. It is the highest category for us, same as you guys, and it's about to hit a place called Port Hedland. So a town up there. Unfortunately, they often get hit by hurricanes. Not hurricanes, cyclones. They are quite often the target. Very much sort of like Florida. You know how they always hit certain places in Florida? Well, Port Hedland is very much like that. They often get attacked by cyclones. So here, I'm going to take you and
I guess the easiest way to describe the weather at the moment is the classic cyclone weather build-up. We've got some strong sustained winds, heavy downfall, and then usually those two will come together and mix up. But then a little bit different, then it goes to just stillness. There's no wind, there's no rain, it's just real quiet. So for people new to the Pilbara who haven't experienced this before, it can be a very eerie feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. How is the community preparing? Are most buildings there built to code?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So the headland's built for this sort of weather conditions. However, we still have to do our due diligence through in the community, and we've been asking our community, which they have been doing really well for the last 2 days, is preparing, which is tying down, removing any loose items around the household that could become potential debris during this event.
Can you give us a bit of an idea of other preparations around town and any road closures or anything that people should be aware of?
Well, as you can imagine, being the biggest port in the biggest bulk port in the world, the port had to go through and remove all the ships out of the harbour so they can tie that down. The town has been working closely with our emergency services, local businesses, and even the community groups just to ensure that everybody's ready for what's coming. And it ranges from anything, tying down loose items. It's also talking through sandbags if anything was required for it.
You've been through a Category 5 cyclone before. What was that like? And do you think it's helped you to feel better prepared for this?
I've got a young tacker, so that would have been George, which was originally at a 4, and then from what I can remember, it was reclassified. So as a young man, I wasn't really that worried about the households or anything like that. So I've seen a fair few, and I think I'm prepared, but I don't think you're ever really prepared for what Mother Nature's going to throw at you. So I won't lie.
you're never really prepared for what Mother Nature throws at you. I would agree. This cyclone looks very impressive on the radar. I'm going to take you to live satellite right now before the sun sets over Australia. It is just in our evening now here, and I'm going to show you. The cyclone is here. So this is live satellite images from Australia. You can see this the cyclone here, and it's got this huge band that plays into this low pressure system here. This is your low right here. And this huge banding that stretches from the cyclone, gets pulled all the way through down to this low that is currently crossing Victoria and South Australia right now. But yeah, this is the cyclone right here. It's just off the coastline right now. It'll probably make land pretty soon, actually. You can see during the day, the daylight hours, it had a really nice eye on it. It's very clear. You can see all the way down. It's fairly symmetrical. But as the day went on, it kind of got less and less. Look at the beautiful banding on this. Look at this all going up here against the contrast of the land, like that red color. It's very pretty. It looks like right here, actually. I don't know if that's from bad view or let me have a look. I don't know. It looks like it's going through an eye wall replacement cycle. Yes, it is. So when you start seeing it look like this is what we call like a closed eye. This is an open eye like this. When you see it like that and you can see all the way through, this is called an open eye. And then we get here and it starts to close over, right? You get this almost teardrop shape. It's probably trying to go through an eye wall replacement cycle. Yeah, and then it closes over. I don't know if it's making landfall or it's going through an eye wall. Hold on, let me check out the radar. Port headland. No, it hasn't made landfall yet. So yeah, it's trying to go through an eye wall replacement cycle. That's what it's doing right now. So eye wall replacement cycle, it makes it, it rebuilds the wall around that eye, and then it can actually go through. It's trying to go through rapid intensification right now to really pick up that wind speed and keep progressing on its evolution as a cyclone. So. Yeah, if you're new here, we often sometimes do weather on on here for new people. I love the outside. Yeah, okay. What's a closed ice? So when it starts to close like this, I don't know if I can make it any closer for you. Hold on. Let me see if I can go. Where's my view? I've lost my view. All right. I don't think it'll let me zoom in anymore. It's hard to see. I know it's difficult for you guys to see. Maybe I can take a screenshot. Hold on. Yeah, let's do this. Let me take screenshots and I'll show you so that you guys can actually see a little bit better. All right, let's go forward. All right, there. All right, let me upload these and I'll show you the difference. All right. So this is an open eye right here. This is like your typical cyclone. It's got a very symmetrical, very round eye of the cyclone / hurricane. And then when it goes like this, you see it's closing up. It almost looks like a slit or like a teardrop shape. It sometimes gets like a teardrop kind of shape to it. It's starting to collapse. That eye wall is going to collapse, and it's going to go through a eye wall replacement cycle, probably as part of the rapid intensification process of the cyclone. So rapid intensification means in a short period of time, it's getting stronger and stronger, and part of that process is replacing the eye wall every so often. So we will have to see if if it actually can get a new one built in time before it makes landfall. But we'll have to see. So, C Taylor says, "I love weather. A second career could have been weather related." I know. Are people in that area preparing, or is it a landfall warning? So people in that area are preparing. They've taken all the ships out of the area, out of any water nearby, and sent them south or north. And yeah, people are battening down the hatches. I can tell you how many people live there. So in Port Hedland in Western Australia, they have roughly around 15,000 residents. It's not a huge town. Yeah, they only have around 15,000 people, so it's a pretty small town. And I can show you sort of what the town looks like. It has a port, and here you go. So here's the port with the different fishing boats maybe. And there you go, you can see what it looks like. Very low lying. Oh, I gotta take this down. Good work, Ping. There you go. That's what Port Headland looks like. And yeah, so they got a lot of low-lying areas. They got to be very careful of water inundation from the cyclone. Small town, yeah, it's not very big. Sorry, who keeps calling me? Okay. All right. Gina, finance, they'll never, yeah. Yeah, so it's trying to get stronger, yes. It's trying to continue. Yeah, pretty place. Let's hope they all are prepared. They've listened to the warnings and they all survive, or if they haven't gone already, that they can get into a uh, a structure that can withstand a Category 5. It's not it's a daunting experience to ride out a Cat 5. It's not, it's not easy. Here, let me take you over here. So there's the Cat 5. Let's go to the forecast map. So it's saying 11 a.m. February 13th. That should have been today. So it's already a Cat 5 already. And then February 13th, 11 p.m. Cat 5. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. they expect it still to be a Category 5. And 5 p.m. tomorrow, that's 24 hours from now, it'll still be a Category 5. And sometime between 5 p.m. tomorrow in 24 hours and 11 p.m., about 5 hours, between 4 and 5 hours, it's going to actually cross across the land. So they've still got about another 24 hours of this thing sitting offshore as it takes this very odd track. It's sort of doing this little like wobble and curve, and it's going to take a very sharp left turn and come straight onto the the coastline down here. But while it's out here and it's such a large cyclone, it's going to keep sending all that weather inland from the bands surrounding the cyclone. So you're still going to get cyclonic weather, but just the outer part of it. There's still going to be high winds, a lot of rain, a lot of threats. Just because it hasn't made landfall yet doesn't mean you're not going to have the threats of a cyclone. So they've got a very rough 24 hours ahead of them, if not already. Yeah, it could be a Sharknado, very much. Let's see. Johnny says people go to their basements. Yeah, I don't think they got basements. I don't think they got any basements. You are welcome. Yes, so the water temperature off WA right now is actually really high. It's very high. And what cyclones and hurricanes love? Hot water. Any type of hot temperatures in the surface of the ocean, it uses that like gas, like fuel, and that fuels the hurricane's development. That's what it wants. It wants that. It wants warm air inflow, and it wants no barriers. And what would a barrier be? Well, land, any kind of sheared environment that it could run into. And yeah, but this one's got a great environment, high sea temperatures, and not a lot of barriers to its development. So it is, yeah, it's going to be a big cyclone out there. I hope all the people of Port Hedland and surrounding areas are going to be okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I love you all so very much. It is that time of the night again for Ping to go. I really appreciate it. You're all amazing people. If you haven't already, please click that like button and hit that subscribe button that is below the screen somewhere down here. I don't know, somewhere around here. And if you haven't already, check out I do have links underneath in the description. People keep asking me to put them back up. I've put them back up there for the donations for the channel. Yeah, they're back in the description. Kathy Lynch says some schools here have cancelled school because of potential flooding. Others are closed because of the flu. That sounds like a mess. That sounds like a horrible situation. Yeah, Boston Beauty got it. Hey, thank you very much, Lisa. I appreciate that. It didn't come up on my screen. Thank you for gifting the 2 memberships. Yeah, thank you. It's very kind. Who got the other one? Hey, Grizzly Cat. Hey, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Thanks for all your help. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I just said it. Thank you. I don't know who got the other one. Who got the other one? Oh, was it? I thought I heard someone say before that there was someone who got it. I can't scroll back that far. But thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Summer Thunder says good night. Yes, good night. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, Catatonics, your secret connection. Have a good night, everyone. Hey, let's hope we get a verdict. If we get called into court early in the morning for a verdict, I'll come back on like 3 a.m. Australian time and cover the announcement of that verdict for you. So let's see if we get one that's early in the day or late in the day. If it's early enough, I will jump on and come and hang out with you all for the verdict, all right? Yes, see you tomorrow for the verdict, everyone. And hey, remember, Sophia, if you see her or Gary Day out there, call it in to 911 and get Sophia back to her family so that she can have this baby and, you know, be back with people who love her and support her. Good night, everyone. See you later.